Looks like we get to sleep with a roof over our heads.
This came out so good. I almost hate having to eat it. Hoodle, no, that's mine.
Never thought I'd see you fighting Hoodle over food of all things. Normally, you share everything you have with him.
Yeah, but this is a fancy parfait. Every girl dreams of having one of these.
Is it really that big of a deal?
Please don't bring me into this.
It's always nice to eat something that fulfilling.
I can't believe I actually get to have it all for myself. Every little bite makes me so happy.
But isn't that parfait gonna cost you quite a lot more than your regular ice cream choice?
That's all the more reason for me to enjoy it. Everyone knows it takes lots and lots of sweets to stay full of energy.
Everybody, a cream monster has devoured Rinwell.
At times such as these, it would be best to just let her do as she wishes.
Yeah, definitely.
Dohalim's right. If someone's trying to enjoy their favorite food, just leave them to it and don't bother them.
Yep, can't argue with that.
I don't get women.
So good.
We've reached our destination.
Something feels odd here. Be on your guard. Charge like that could easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to... I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare to Malisa! Here I go! Going in!
Ready and ready!
Look sharp! Thank you for that. That's it! Well,
blah, blah, blah.
let's get back into it.
All
right. No chance. Surprise!
Tidal wave.
Going in. One more.
Now.
Shion,
Go for it.
prepare to crumble.
Think we overdid
You're
it?
open. On guard. Not by a long shot.
Blah, blah, blah.
Glacial speed.
Get on it.
Look sharp.
Lancer.
Inferno crossing. Catapult. Get behind me.
Lightning orb.
Black City of Dark.
Hurricane. One at a time.
Lightning
Strike.
strike. All right. Penumbra.
Blah, blah, blah.
Going in.
Thank you. So, Helene,
I only did what any other would.
I'm ready to go.
I think you're nicer than you.
Commander of Heaven.
Phoenix Cyclone.
Glacial
Nice
spear.
try.
Here's
On
evil.
guard. Down on the ground. I'll face you. On guard. Ha! Lightning strike.
Tidal wave.
Hurricane strike.
Lightning orb.
Lightning strike.
Illusion.
Elfin.
Commander of Heaven.
Phoenix Cyclone.
These bad guys really don't mess around.
Go no further.
On guard. Where are you going?
Let the marksman handle this.
Negative
By the power of
I'm ready
flame.
to go.
Finish without a trace.
The bigger they are, the harder they fall.
Down on the ground.
Inferno
Freeze.
What can we just sit still?
Sion,
Leave the
can you
enemy
take care of them?
to me. No sooner said than done.
No complaints here.
Feast assault.
No armor to stop me.
Remind me to stay on your good side. All right, let me at it.
Don't mind if I do.
All right, let me at it. Let's go. Ha! One more.
Raging storm. All right.
This one's mine.
Annihilation.
Inferno crossing.
Ice prison.
We don't have firearms here on Danner. I can show you mine if you like.
That would be really awesome, Sion.
Blast
Annihilation.
Hurricane
Radiant
Here.
Negative gate.
That'll bring you down. On guard.
They smite with blood.
Hurricane strike. On guard.
Lunar corruption.
Lightning strike.
Lunar blast. Barracuda flame.
Mega ram. By the power of water. Flag assault.
By the power of
Dazzling
flame.
spin.
Finish without a trace.
I'm ready.
Shion,
Go for it.
prepare to crumble.
Think we overdid it?
Not by a long shot.
Healing circle.
I owe you one for that.
Lightning.
Look
Still
sharp.
battle.
Thanks, Shion. Take
Lunar
this.
corruption.
Inferno crossing. Flaming meteor.
Whirling struggle.
Do it. Ringwell.
Frozen.
Hammer.
Heal my weary companion.
Look sharp.
Rain down in pure flame.
Being interrupted.
Not feeling so hot.
Take it easy. You'll hurt yourself.
Sorry. Didn't mean to make you worry.
Regenerate.
Recover.
Fire
The
up.
mortal droplet. Raging
This one's
cascade in
mine.
an instant.
Take this.
Fred. Don't mind if I do.
Inferno crossing.
All right.
No more
It's
playing
showtime.
nice.
By the power of flame.
Guardian
Finish
shield.
Much obliged.
If
it's in the
I'm ready
sky,
to
it's
go.
mine.
Tempest
Unique ways of...
Tell me that.
I'm
ready. Shion,
Go for it.
prepare to crumble.
Step back. This one's all law.
This will be a
In a
delicious
bind?
piece of cake.
Don't worry, I've got plenty to go around.
Not today.
It's like trying to keep up with a wall.
Awaken
Amazing.
Here's the illuminate in the dark.
Masterful dash.
Lightning strike.
Air pressure.
Blah blah blah.
Take this.
Do
Effective by the power of
You
look
get the
sharp.
gist.
Inferno crossing.
Burnout.
Ringwell.
Frozen.
Hammer.
Nicely done.
Going in. All thanks to you.
Lightning orb.
By the power of
take it?
water. How do you like being pounded into shape? Finish without a trick. Inferno crossing. Flaming meteor. Dazzling spin. Flag assault.
Searing
Guardian field. Glacial spear.
Pierce
Surprise.
evil.
This one's no chance. Too slow. This one's mine.
I'm ready!
Yohalim.
All yours, Kisara.
We did it.
Magnificently
Look
done.
sharp.
I'm ready!
Elvin.
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone. I'm in good form. I'll crush any enemy with my mace.
Awesome! We've got an avatar of destruction here!
Truly, she leaves naught but rubble in her wake.
Are you guys asking to be her next target?
Our superiority was undeniable.
It feels invigorating to dominate a battle.
I was certain I saw you yawn.
Come now. I'm certainly not that relaxed.
Little help.
Take this! Throw it down on the ground!
Try harder!
Finish without a trick.
You're mine.
Wailing banshee of
I'm not
lightning.
done! Are those rocks in the wind?
Hit now.
It's over! Reflect on
More
thunder!
stockpile.
They smite with
Go
no
for the weak
foil.
points. Carry you to shreds.
All back in their defense!
Glad you had your uses.
One keeps charging us!
I'll show you how useful I can be!
Oh, Sparklight.
Rising
Light.
Here I
Rain
come.
down and purify.
Blue
You got
escape.
company.
No more playing nice.
Crush! And cap! Here I come! Cap!
Sealed.
Raging
Let's get you up
Storm
this way.
escape! Thunderfang!
Up and
Blow
at 'em.
away.
Let's go.
I can carve through armor!
Air thrust. A whirling struggle.
Azure Storm!
Wings of
Thunderfang!
lightning. Burst forth.
It's over!
Sleep now.
Now!
Devastate
Elusive
all.
deity!
We've turned the tables on them.
There are still more left.
Right. No time to hold back.
Do it! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished.
There you go, Alvin!
It's time to end this battle.
I'm right beside you.
Burn in hell! Thank you!
Healing circle.
Thanks.
Purge malevolence.
Here I come!
Arctic
Blue
waterfall.
escape!
In here.
Raining
Now
flash!
shall escape my judgment.
Here I come! Bloody howling! Shattering the water pieces! Attack time!
First aid. Dance immortal droplets.
Blow away! Crush!
Tidal wave.
Azure Storm!
One more time.
I'll burn it all! Ah! Flaming pillar! Fire! In an instant! Impact block!
We work well together.
Like a finely timed waltz.
A whirling banshee
You're
of
mine.
lightning.
He who prepares
Flame
brings
inside me!
regret.
Yours to be let
Power
free!
surges through me.
One more. Save you. The water wave now. Astral energy.
Say no more.
You sure showed them.
All in a day's work.
choice. In a bind?
None shall
You
escape
gave my
company.
judgment. I never miss.
You picked the wrong fight. Azure
You
Storm!
have to aim for the bright area on their back.
Pesky airborne scoundrels.
Sounds like a job for yours truly.
An astral art?
That's my cue.
Ready to go.
Shut him down!
Azure Storm!
A charge like that could easily be fatal.
Strike!
Just as well, I'm here to stop.
I have no limit!
Forth, a hero's fury.
Try harder! My turn!
Here's my hell.
Oh, Maddie is in effect.
Glad you have your use of fierce evil.
I'll show you how useful I can be.
I'll burn it all! Flaming pillar! Fire! Look sharp! Lightning tiger blade! Now! Here I come!
Fierce evil.
Regenerate!
Dance in
You're mine!
wild
Azure Storm!
Allow me to help.
Eternal devastation!
Elusive deity.
Rotating pile driver!
I owe you, Sion.
Healing is what my arts do best.
All mine can do is cause havoc and destruction.
Not done!
Rotating pile driver. Do it.
Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone.
None shall
Now!
escape my judgment. A chain between heaven and earth. A whirling fancy of
Pull
lightning.
away!
Tornado drive.
I'll give them doing the
You're
job.
mine!
Dance in the
Void
wind.
blast!
Now, do it! Astral energy!
Say no more!
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
This might be some decent equipment.
Anything that makes battles easier is okay by me.
Oh, it's you guys again.
I see you and your brother found each other.
You could say that.
Technically, you couldn't. After all, it's not like my brother arrived where I was by choice. In the end, we only met because it was a coincidence. It leaves me at my wit's end, really.
Edna, look.
Even if all this did somehow lead to you coming back to me after we return to our world, the brother I know always stands at the helm of his own ship.
When it comes to brothers, they can make choices that seem a bit selfish sometimes. What really matters is whether you have faith in them.
My brother would hardly be swayed by such extenuating circumstances. So for now, I guess I'll just have to enjoy this time while it lasts.
Edna told me all about it, you know. You tried to rush her as a group, didn't you?
I don't like where this is going.
Technically, I never actually let you guys off the hook. However, I'll hear you out. If you can withstand the power of our bond as siblings.
What does their sibling bond have to do with...
He's talking about showing us how much they mean to each other. Like me and Miguel used to do. If that's something I can give them, then I won't back down.
Kisara?
Challenge accepted. This will be a good chance for me to sever my ties with the past.
You used to be such a little pipsqueak. You've grown strong.
You have no idea how to compliment a lady, do you?
Not only that, you're as precious as ever.
That punch-crazy idiot said something during the fight.
Ma, you're the last person that gets to call someone a punch-crazy idiot.
Who cares? Just focus! Here I come!
Holy land!
We're
Go
off!
for it!
Hit him hard! With your wings!
Here I go! Hold on to your heart! Here I come!
You must be tired of hearing me.
I'm merely doing what I can to
I owe
help.
you one.
Glad you're on our side.
Try harder! Not a chance!
I'll stop its charge!
Thanks, Kisara!
I owe you.
Is that a healing art?
It is. I can't ignore your pain.
I'll try to be more careful.
Over there!
Bloody howling! Blow away! Try harder! Not a chance!
I said, so hold on to your
You may
heart.
be strong,
Here I
but
come.
I'll never back down!
Here's something special.
Can't get out of this! Allow me to help you.
Arrow squall.
Rhapsody of Darkness!
Lunar corruption.
What's all mine?
By the power of water. Lightning supernova. Over there. Radiant lightning.
I'll burn it all! Flaming pillar! Fire! Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Take this!
Get out of my face.
Watch yourself!
Incredible
Power!
They're going to use one of those umbrella attacks.
I wonder how that would look with my staff.
This isn't the time for joking around!
Not today!
All right, here it comes. Confiscate. Keep standing around. A whirling struggle. And you're dead. Don't say I didn't warn you.
Take this!
Now for something special. Shooting star. It's about to strike.
Look sharp, everyone!
Freeze laser. Far beyond dark sky.
His sister's arts have the battlefield torn up.
With her brother attacking from above.
Talk about sibling synergy. Who needs words when you've got that kind of bond?
You don't need to sound happy about it.
Firmament render. Freeze laser. Negative water creation here.
This should do it!
Mortal droplet. No use fighting.
You're mine! Mirage!
Silent ring. I'll do get this. Shimless Patrick. There. Bring forth.
Not now, not ever! Try harder!
It's
this it?
Don't give up. Fade with darkness. No use fighting. Arc field. Divine strength.
Our arts are being interrupted.
No use fighting. Don't mind if I do.
Not done yet!
Radiant storm. One at a time. Over there. Ice prison.
Heal my weary companion.
Shimless Patrick. Sarah, go forth. In here. Don't get dizzy now. Over there. I won't give up.
I couldn't make it in time. You destroyed her soul with light.
This one's all mine!
Resuscitation.
Orochi's Fury! Ignite! Try Hawkbuster!
Over there.
I can't move!
Dance in the wind. Corruption.
Imbue this vanquished
Eat
soul
dirt!
with
Not
life.
in your dreams!
Regeneration.
Reload! Just what the doctor
Here,
ordered!
let me help. I can carve through armor.
Get out of my face!
Such unadulterated fury.
Holy land! Blah, blah, blah!
You're away. Ripping you apart.
Far enough!
Get for the healing.
Watch yourself, okay?
Yeah, you too. Here it comes.
Is this it? Forgive me.
Standing around,
Another incant.
and you're dead. Don't say I didn't warn you. Shooting star.
It's gonna attack.
Right, watch out! Not on my watch! Back into the fray!
Ready and raring. Winter wind.
By the power of water! Rain
Rising shot.
Over there.
Heal my winter wind. Try harder. I'm ready. Look sharp. Lightning tiger blade.
Escape my judgment!
Regenerate. Hurricane thrust. Mirage.
He who prepares.
Don't leave me!
Imbue this vanquished soul.
Winter
I'm
wind.
going to need to use all the power of my healing arts to accomplish this.
11th hour.
Not on my watch!
Roaching fury. They smite with blackened blade. Blow away. Take this.
Last throw.
Burning strike!
I'm ready. Still.
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished.
I underestimated.
Fury.
Just what the doctor
No
Regenerate.
messing around.
Blow away.
They're not playing around!
Why'd you heal me?
To stop you dying?
Ready to die?
Oh, violent darting wind!
Whatever comes next. This is just the first step. In killing you!
I think I'm coming down with something grave.
A chronic inability to read the room?
Dragon
A malady
howling!
your arts cannot fix.
So much for her brother going easy on us.
This is the power of their bond!
What happened to him keeping his distance?
Try harder. Not a chance.
Light!
Burn. Roaching fury. Trinity. Rhapsody of darkness.
No messing around.
You're mine.
This is pretty
There
fun.
you go. Don't let up.
Everything's gone.
Raging storm.
I'm ready. Remove.
Astral energy.
Say no more.
You actually stood up to the both of us together. I'm impressed.
I'll accept my loss gracefully and not put on any airs. You're passable, I'll grant you that much.
If that's not putting on airs, what is?
In truth, it might have been a different outcome entirely if we had fought you in your realm. Our victory is certainly no reason for conceit.
Absolutely. You were both worthy opponents.
I'd hardly call that resounding praise. Still, thanks for giving us this time together.
Edna.
Judging from the way you're talking, are you from the same world, but different times?
I suppose we are. I'd sooner not bore you with the tedious details, though.
I don't know the hows or whys of it, but this is some kind of warped space that connects different worlds and times.
Its existence is much to do with a mistake born of our own world. I apologize for dragging you into this mess.
Hey, I got to see my sister. You know what they say about dark clouds and silver linings.
You need this, right? Go on, take it.
You could always tag along with us if you wanted. You guys would definitely liven things up.
I appreciate the offer, but we've got business of our own to take care of back home. I'm going back eventually, But in the meantime, I've got tons of catching up to do.
I'm not sure we'll even get to keep our memories from here after we leave, but... I'm glad I got to see my brother.
So am I.
I feel stronger. I mean, a bit.
Good. We're counting on you, Rinwell.
On me? Well, I'll do my best.
Now that we're finally talking, I'm not sure what to say.
Some things just can't be conveyed with pen and paper.
Looks like we made it here in one piece.
Hey, Alphen! What do you think of that chick over there?
Doesn't look like she really works out.
I'm not talking about her muscles, you dummy! Hell yeah! There's no way you can complain about how this tastes!
Looks like we made it here in one piece.
Something feels odd here. Be on your guard.
Humans, here of all places.
Is he floating?
That's not a person. He's more like a mass of astral energy.
That sounds a lot like a great astral spirit.
How predictable, applying simple-minded molds to others.
I doubt he's a great astral spirit. But there is something alien about him.
If anything, you're alien to your own realm. You feign comfort with fate, all the while bearing claws at destiny. You remind me of a certain race. A race that struggles even as they destroy multitudes of worlds. Worlds that devour multitudes of energy. Disgraceful, all of it.
Sounds like someone has it in for us.
Say, there's supposed to be 6 keys, right?
And this is the 6th area. This must be our last stop.
Be careful. This one's not like the others we've run into.
You know, Edna mentioned being invited here. I'd figured it was the researchers doing, but what if there was something else in play?
You think this guy's behind it all?
That's anyone's presumption. Somehow I doubt he'd give us a straight answer if we asked.
I'll give you the courtesy of my name. I am the great spirit Kronos, ruler of time and space. And now I shall demonstrate my power.
Here it comes!
I've never felt power so potent before.
Feels like I'll be crushed by its force.
Didn't come all this way just to lose now!
Luckily, we've got power of our own. Determination.
Take this! Bow before me! Elusive deity! Thundering stasis! Soaring light sphere! Sanguine drop!
Enough! Can't get out of bed! We're finished!
Regeneration!
Freeze Lancer!
Prepare to be judged!
Gale Force!
Enough! I owe you one!
Is that a healing art?
It is. I can't ignore your pain.
I'll try to be more careful.
Healing Circle!
Thanks! Prepare to be judged!
Here's the evil! Come forth! Holy Glimmer!
I owe you one!
Holy Lancer! Pain between
Thunder
heaven and
Fang!
earth! There's a healing art!
Raining Splash!
First aid! Divine Savior!
Azure Storm! I'll burn it all! Flaming Pillar! Fire!
And you require a
Here I come!
rotating
Strike!
Whirling Circle! Winds of heaven!
Bow before me!
won't save you!
Rotary of darkness!
In here! This is such a light tornado!
Blow away! Try harder!
Gale Force!
Bow before me!
Elusive deity! None shall escape my judgment!
I owe you one! Rotate you!
On your
You're mine!
I'll heal you all!
You're mine!
Our arms are being interrupted.
Whirling Dandy!
Down on the ground!
Magic is hand!
Tornado drive! I'm not done!
Resurrection!
Raging Wind! Rotate Fury!
Searing Flame! Whirling Circle!
Within
My
the
turn!
soil.
Winds of heaven! Freezing
We're
Storm!
finished!
Ice Tornado! Cyclone! Blah, blah, blah! That in here!
Try harder!
Healing Circle!
Blow away!
None shall escape my judgment!
Thanks, Sheila.
Be careful not to overdo it.
I'm sorry. I'll do better.
Here's a healing art!
Get hits on!
First aid!
Okay, here I go. Catapult! Thunder!
Radiant Light!
Blow
Divine
before me! Onyx Spear! Azure Storm!
Strike!
Plasma Shock! Force of Regeneration! Slice! I'll burn it all! Flaming Pillar! Fire!
I'm going to need to use all the power of my healing art to accomplish.
Enough! You're mine!
We're finished! Just what I needed! Vanquish darkness! None shall escape my judgment!
Blow away! What? Try hard, not a chance!
Divine streak!
Raining flash!
Here I go!
Elusive deity! Here I come!
Photon heard! Magic
Heal
is
my
there!
weary
Hear me!
Cure!
You must be tired of killing me. I'm merely doing what I can to help. Glad you're on our side, Johalim.
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
I'm going to need to use all
Blow away!
my healing light to accomplish gain between heaven and earth.
Prepare to be judged!
Watch yourself, coward before me. Power.
Uh-oh. I've got a bad feeling about this. Well, it's been swell knowing you guys.
We have to stop it, whatever it takes. Far enough! Celestial Hunter!
It's time to draw close the curtain. The tragedy of your life has reached its end. Chrono erodes even wider.
Searing Flame! Reload!
No way!
He's going to annihilate everything!
A power beyond mortal understanding.
Ignite!
Plasma Bomb!
Soaring ticket!
Photon Blast!
Blow away!
Field!
You bore me.
I'll be saving this one!
No time to break. Prepare to be judged. Enough. Know your place. Bleed. How about this? Cut
I
through.
won't give up!
You'll pay for th- What just happened?
Is this another of his powers?
Resuscitation. Cut
Dual
through.
Crossblade! Magic is there! Air thrust! You get stronger!
No feeling. Penumbra. Cut through.
Nothing gets by me!
We're finished. Try harder. My turn. Blow away. This one's all mine.
We master the healing art!
Down on the ground. Raining down on the ground.
Burning! Rain down!
Here I come.
Purify all!
Prepare to be judged. Enough. Worthless. Bleed. Can't move.
Forgive me. This is my fault.
Be gone. Captivity.
Glacial
Prepare to be
Spear!
judged.
Freeze Lancer!
Imbued its vanquished.
I'll bring you back from
Regeneration. Regenerate.
Resuscitation! Wind and
Worthless. I owe you.
Spirits within the soul.
Now. Force of regeneration. This should do it. Regenerate.
Thank you, Johalim.
I only did what any other would.
I think you're nicer than you let on.
I'll grind you into dust. Take this! Insolent mortal engulfs you!
Blazing Storm!
Rain blast! Awaken and reborn! Blow away! Masterful jab! Prepare to be judged! Try harder! Cut
It's in
through!
your hands now.
Stay away from my friends! Enough! Be gone!
Here, let me help!
Prepare to be judged! Bow before me! Try harder! Not a chance! I'm not done! I can carve through armor!
I'll bring you back from depth abyss!
Know your place!
Resuscitation!
I'm not done! Raining Okay. Prepare to be judged!
Watch yourself.
Coward before me! To be legendary! Deity!
A whirling circle!
Blow away!
Wind of heaven! First force! Liberate! Let's get you up!
It's time to draw close the curtain. The tragedy of your life has reached its end. Chrono erosion! Taste the deity! You boring pile driver! Not today!
Dance in the wind! Air
away!
The waters of creation!
Now! Commander of Heaven! Phoenix Cyclone!
What quaint arts you use.
He's healing?
Not quite. I turned back time, to be precise.
You really do control time and space. Was this place something you made?
It was not I who made it, nor was it Origin or Maxwell. So there's a world unrelated to the three primordial great spirits.
Primordial? Do you mean to tell us you have the power to create worlds?
You may make of me what you will.
Another great spirit and another fine mess. I strongly recommend that research into doorways through time and space should be strictly forbidden.
But what are rules to a species that insists on ignoring history's lessons? The people of your realm will learn of this place, and they will use it to rob and exploit other worlds.
That's...
They are driven by pure desire. They fob off their burdens on others, all without reflecting upon what comes of it.
To hell with this. We've torn down every barrier in front of us, but we know better than to call it good there. We'll build a world where people can coexist and walk hand in hand, and we won't give up until we do.
Yeah, we're ready to put in the work to change.
I'll make sure this research gets called off. You have my word on that.
I suppose this is another trait that your species shares. I will remain here for a time. See to it that this absurd research is ended.
All right, Kronos. We understand.
And know this. If anyone attempts to abuse the Gateway, to interfere with our world, I will cast them into the time-space rift, where they will wander the void forevermore.
No arguments here, pal.
We'll see to it that that never happens. You'll see, from up there on your throne.
Well, am I improving?
Tremendously. The speed and precision of your aim is simply unmatched.
I had no idea you were watching me so closely.
Magnificent. To think that we could ever amass such a stunning array of Denon relics.
What do you think? Not a single piece missing.
Indeed. You and Law were especially diligent in finding them. You both have my gratitude.
So, this means you don't need to become treasure hunters, right?
Huh? What are you talking about?
I mean, that promise you were talking about earlier. You know, with Dohalim?
Oh, you mean the exhibit?
Exhibit?
Yeah. After collecting so many artifacts, we wanted to put them on display for people to see.
Renans have stolen so much Denon history. It feels only right to help revive it. However, the situation has changed. I think we should call off the exhibition.
Huh?
This collection deserves to have a permanent home. In other words, I propose that we open a museum.
Oh, that's a great idea!
I knew that you would agree. The relics seem to boisterously applaud the idea as well.
Not with that again.
Still, that's quite the elaborate plan you two have hatched.
Naturally, I trust that you'll handle the descriptions for each item, Rinwell.
Of course! I've got a lot of research ahead of me.
In that case, we should erect a research lab for your work.
Really? That'd be great, Dohalim!
What kind of research do you think you can do?
More than you can, fists for brains. Thumbing through piles of books, looking up relic structure and material composition. Maybe even testing how they react to arts. And, if necessary, I could always break them open and see what's inside.
Let's not get carried away here.
I'm just joking, of course. And you know, it'd be great if I could have an assistant. Someone who could run errands for me while I'm busy working.
Huh? Well, you know, I could.
It's good to dream big and all, you guys, but there's something you need to do first.
You're right, of course. There's only one thing we should be concerned with right now, and that is...
cleaning up.
Yes, ma'am.
What a wonderful treasure this is.
I guess...
Well...
Whew.
Right.
Huh?
Yes!
Hmm.
I don't know what all this gate and key stuff is about, but you've gotta be a little crazy to do research inside a Zoogl's stomach.
I don't care what he gets up to on his own time. I'm just glad nothing crazy came out of all that in the end.
He was trying to bridge together dimensions. That in itself is rather ludicrous, I would argue.
Still, Eisen, was it? It seemed like that was the first he'd seen of his sister all grown up. In that respect, I'm glad it worked out for him.
Everything has a silver lining if you look hard enough. Doesn't change the fact that his little experiment was real dangerous.
Look at it from his perspective. I know if I got to see family I thought I never would again, that'd make me really happy too.
Truth be told, I'm with Kisara on this. The ability to see those that you're afraid you've lost, even one more time. I hope it works out for them.
There was also that Kronos guy we met at the end. Rather less charming. What do you think his deal was?
Yeah, he had those weird ears sticking out.
It's impossible to say whether he's like us or not. However, if we're to judge by his strength and appearance, he is clearly no ordinary being.
And what he said to Xion was just... that was so awful.
He most likely has his reasons for believing in what he does, even if they come from a very different place than what we ourselves know.
He didn't seem to be too harsh on anybody who wasn't human, though.
Whew! It was all so strange. I wonder if we'll ever get to meet anybody else from other dimensions.
Who can say? If we do, I pray it will be somebody more friendly. I can only fight every newcomer that we meet for so long. It'd be nice to get a surprise ally every once in a while.
It's amazing, isn't it? We've been all over Dana on this journey. Is there anywhere we haven't visited at this point?
Who knows?
I'm being serious.
We're talking about a whole planet here. Isn't it more exciting to just assume there are places we haven't seen yet?
I picked the wrong guy to ask. What about you, Alphen? What do you think?
That's a good question. I figure we visited just about every place civilization has set its eyes on.
So is there anything left for us to see?
That I couldn't say. We are talking about seeing an entire planet.
Yeah, I guess so.
This journey has proven just how little I truly knew our world. There is always more to learn. To assume otherwise would be the height of conceit.
There might well be places that we still haven't discovered yet. And if you ask me, I think that's perfectly fine.
Me too. We don't need to know every inch of Dana to fulfill our mission. Besides, I think there's something romantic about there still being mysteries out there.
I'd say it's part of the fun to imagine whether we'll be the first to uncover those mysteries. Maybe even now there are other explorers who will shed a light in the darkest places.
True! I guess the world's bigger than any of us will ever really realize.
You know, I was just saying the same thing as Alphen. Why does she listen to him and not me?
Sounds like you've still got a lot to learn about the mysteries of a woman's heart as well.
Looks like we made it here in one piece.
We finally made it.
Lost!
You're mine!
Vanquish darkness!
Elusive deity! Rotating pile driver!
Divine streak!
Bet that shell's hiding something tasty.
Sanguine blossom!
Marlin trouble!
I'm ready!
Winds of heaven!
It's almost too strong.
Split it open!
Be my guest.
I'm ready!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished. That's some power you wield.
You're the one who did the heavy lifting.
Hi, Hoodle!
Here I come!
A freezing
Ready
storm!
and raring! I'll take you all on!
Don't mind if I do!
This one's gonna be tough!
Freezing storm!
Strike!
Downpour! Tornado!
That's my cue.
Now! Shut him down! Thanks! Thunder! Orochi Fury! I'm ready! Kisara! Commander of Heaven! Phoenix Cyclone! This could be useful. That's no ordinary enemy I see over there.
Little help.
Raging Lunar Storm!
Pierce evil. This is gonna need all of us together. Here goes. Here goes. The flashing parts are weak point.
Down on the ground!
This one keeps charging us!
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me.
Go! I'll leave it to you!
Now's our chance.
Thunderous devastation! Searing gale! Try harder! My turn! No escape! Not today!
In here.
Thunder!
Hear my call. I'll be saving this
Blow
one.
away!
Tornado
Drop! Rain slap! Tearing up pieces! Attack! Do it! Kisara!
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
We've reached our destination.
Have you guys checked your equipment lately?
Looks like we made it here in one piece.
What do your repeat visits change? If you disrupt my tranquility, then I will silence you on the spot. Brace yourselves! This one's tough!
Try
harder! My turn!
Elusive deity! Eagle ray!
Elusive fury! Try harder! My turn! We're finished!
Here, let me help.
You're mine! Now I can let loose! Hurricane thrust!
Demon blast!
Eagle ray! Please focus.
Flew away!
Now you see what I can do! Elusive deity! Eagle ray!
Flew away! Power
Surge it through me.
Orochi fury!
Water, hear my call.
Here I come!
Bow before me! Elusive deity!
Raining slap!
Show you what my art can do.
Orochi fury!
Bringing you apart!
Be careful not to overdo it.
I'm sorry. I'll be better.
Awaken and wreak havoc!
Flew away! Thunderfang!
By the power of water.
Raining slap! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno! Prepare to be judged!
A wailing fury of lightning.
For me! Not today!
Don't let it go near her!
Here I come!
Tornado.
Flew away!
Lightning orb. It's showtime.
My turn!
Will this help?
With finished! You may be strong, but I'll never back down!
All the power of my healing arts to accomplish this. Here's a healing art.
With finished! There you are! Flew away! Enough! Take it! With finished!
The waters are freezing.
Flew away! Try harder! My turn!
Allow me to help you.
Now!
Here, let me help. Oh,
Thunderfang!
Deity!
Rain down and
Eagle ray!
Penumbra!
Go!
Flew away!
Pierce!
Show thy mystic mercy!
Storm! The waters have freezed.
Thunder!
Is that a healing art?
It is. I can't ignore your pain.
I'll try to be more careful.
Not a chance! Not a chance! We're finished!
Awaken and wreak
Flew
havoc!
away!
I'm
Thunder!
going to need to use all the power of my healing arts to counter this.
Enough!
Surge it through me!
Divine
Thunderfang! Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone! The waters of creation!
Prepare to be judged!
They're not playing
Go
around!
before me!
It's about to strike!
Ignite my scarf, everyone! Orochi fury! Thunderfang! It's time to draw close the curtain. The tragedy of your life has reached its end. Chrono erosion!
A wailing breathing
Time to let it rip!
tornado!
Thunder! Orochi fury!
Down on the ground!
Winds of heaven!
Rain collapse!
I'm going to need to use all the power.
It's too much!
Cyclone! Show me!
I'll burn it all! Flaming pillar! Fire!
Force of regeneration!
You
Regenerate!
Prepare to be judged! Enough!
Know your place! Bleed!
I couldn't make it in time.
Field!
Onward!
This'll come in handy!
Bow before me!
Thunder Field! All right, it's showtime!
Prepare to be judged! Try harder! My turn!
Up and at 'em, let's go!
Here I come! Try harder! My turn! Now! Here I come! It's on!
You bore me. Prepare to be judged.
I could do without this pain.
Know your place. How about this?
Is this it?
How about
Don't
this?
leave me!
Cut through.
And I'll go!
Let me help! Freeze, Lancer! Blah, blah, blah! Air thrust! Blah, blah, blah! Right away! None
Not
shall
done
escape
yet.
my judgment! A whirling struggle!
Prepare to be judged.
Winds of heaven! Tornado!
Heal my weary companion.
Blow away!
Magic attack! Air thrust! Lunar corruption! By the power of God!
Prepare to be judged.
Such unadulterated fury.
Before me.
Burn!
Ready and raring. Take this.
Water astral energy!
I'll thrash you.
Orochi's fury!
Air thrust!
It's time to draw close the curtain. The tragedy of your life has reached its end.
By the
Chrono
power of
erosion.
flame! Lightning raging cascade!
Heal my
away.
weary companion.
A chain between heaven and earth! Blah, blah, blah!
You
That's
bore me.
Orochi's fury!
Divide burning strike! Blah, blah, blah!
Blow away!
Prepare to be judged. Enough. Know
I
your
won't
place.
give up!
Stay away from my friends!
How about this? Cut through.
Now,
This should do it!
this'll come in handy! Fire instant!
Enough! Here I come! Be gone!
Rain down! Purify all!
You're mine! Thunder!
You in the dust.
Orochi's fury!
Seven onward!
Lightning slash! Be gone! This is looking good! I'll burn it all! Ah! Flaming pillar! Fire!
Glacial Spear! This one's got your name on it!
Ashes to ashes.
With this, I can become even stronger!
What do your repeat visits change? If you disrupt my tranquility, then I will silence you on the spot.
This one's tough, but we have no choice.
Let me know if you need healing.
Blow away!
By the power of flame!
Raging Luna Storm! Bow before me! Elusive harder! Not a chance!
May 1,000 gales carry your dread!
Benediction light! Raining Flash! Thunderfang! Whip spin! Try harder! My turn! Blow away!
Will this
Crescent Flash! I will lose! Not now! Not ever!
glacial
Spirits
steel?
within the soil! Illuminate! Thunderfang! Raining Flash!
Regenerate!
Don't suffer in silence. You must be tired of healing me. I'm merely doing what I can to help. Glad you're on our side,
Face you!
The water of creation! Dance, immortal
Now!
goblet!
My turn! Penumbra! Blow away! Eat this! Don't let it go to your head!
Away! Lunar command!
Try this!
Lunar blast!
Benediction light.
Super ring!
Mega ray!
Now!
Annihilate! War for the Sapphire! Mega ray!
Anything in orbit is all mine! Blow away!
One at a time!
Thunderfang! Penumbra!
Healing circle!
Prepare to be judged! Captivity! Try harder! Not a chance! Now! Now!
Do it!
Raining Awaken in an instant! Impact Claw!
Glacial spear!
You're mine! Raging Luna Storm! Thunder! Prepare to be judged!
Such
Cower
unadulterated
before
fury.
me! Dance on the way! Can attack!
Right! Watch out! Blah, blah, blah! Magic! Freeze laser! Blah, blah, blah!
Raining
Air
Flash!
blast! You get the gist!
It's time to draw close the curtain. The tragedy of your life has reached its end. Chrono erosion.
Another incantation ruined.
Finish without a trace! All disasters!
Raining Flash! You bore me!
Security!
Blow away!
Prepare to be judged.
Enough! This isn't looking good! I can't move!
I couldn't make it in time. Can't get out of this! Now imbue this vanquished soul with life! Resuscitation!
This one's mine!
Know your out of the woods, it seems.
Raining Heat!
Here!
Be gone! Take this!
Mega ray!
Blow away!
Dance on the wind!
By the power of
Try harder! Not a
without a
chance!
trace!
Force of regeneration!
Be gone!
Regenerate!
Explosion!
He who prepares is free from regret.
Now you see what I can do!
Rending you apart!
I'll heal you
Bloody
all!
howling!
The waters of creation! Healing circle!
Awaken and weak!
Prepare to be judged.
Enough!
Forgive me. Know your place. How about this? Bleed. Be gone.
Hear me! Flame of fury!
Prepare to be judged.
I'll bring you back from death to you, a new
Prepare to be judged.
Done yet!
This.
I hope this medicine works as promised.
Blah, blah, blah!
Blow
Magic!
away!
Burning! There! One more time!
Try harder!
You get the rhythm marksman! Sweep
Blow
down!
away!
Let's get you out of the way!
No!
The waters
Can't
of
end
magic
here!
is- Don't give up! Try to win!
Imbue this vanquished soul with life!
Attack us!
Resuscitation!
Illuminate this attack again!
I owe you.
Holy glimmer!
This has a
Holy
message
land!
to clear.
Pain between heaven and earth!
You bore me!
Good way!
Surges through me.
Prepare to be judged. Enough. Know your place.
This can't be happening!
How about this? Be gone.
No! Can't end here!
Ready to go!
Imbue this vanquished soul! Imbue this vanquished soul! I
I'll
healed
bring you
myself.
back from death to this!
Bestowed on
Hand
mystic
is healed!
mercy.
More where that came from!
Being
Thank you,
interrupted.
Helene.
Let them
I only did what any other would.
I think you're nicer than you let on.
More than that.
Sorry, I didn't want to put you out.
When our friends fall, we can't depend on them.
You're right. I'll bear that in mind.
Prepare to be judged.
Watch yourself.
Cower before me.
Power won't save you!
Elusive deity.
Blow away!
Begin. Sonic spear.
Not today!
Bestow thy mystic
Blow
mercy.
away!
It's time to draw close the curtain. The tragedy of your life has reached its end. Chrono erosion.
Heart requires complete focus!
Benediction light.
Firmament Borgo!
I'm not done! You boy! Flew away! Thunderfang!
Water!
Prepare to be
Try
judged.
harder!
Enough! Know your place. Bleed! Bleed! Cut through!
Not a chance!
Sanguine Blast!
Lightning Slash! Now! Try harder! Thunderfang!
Be gone!
Wind astral energy!
Stay away from my coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
I'll stop your movement!
And I'll stop your life!
I can feel my precision improving.
A bird?
Huh. He likes birds.
Somehow I'm both surprised and not.
What do your repeat visits change? If you disrupt my tranquility, then I will silence you on the spot.
This one will be difficult to predict.
Prepare to be seen!
Finish without a trace!
Thunder!
Here! Explosion! Get on in there with your burning strike!
They might not before me! Flame inside me, yours to be let free!
Glacial Spear! Here's evil!
Blew away!
Raging Sam!
Nothing gets by me! Blew away!
By the power of flame! Finish
Can't
with
move.
Don't leave me! The waters of creation!
I'll heal you all! Immortal droplet! Tidal wave! Heal us all! Freeze lancer!
Not prepared to be judged!
Healing is what my arts do best. All mine can do is cause havoc and
Armor
destruction.
won't save you! Here I come! Force of regeneration! Try harder! Non-kick! Thunder! Okay, the flame inside me, yours to be let free! Burning flash! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Let me show you what my art
Here
can
I come!
do! Rise and shine!
Prepare to be
away.
judged!
It's in your hands now.
Enough! Stay away from my friend! You may be strong, but I'll never back down!
I'll bring you blah blah blah!
Bow before me!
This can't be happening! Take this!
Out of the woods, it seems.
Go blah blah blah, max strike!
Rotating pile drive! Prepare to be sealed! Bow before me! Resuscitation! I owe you one.
Sometimes the best medicine is the toughest to
Imbue
swallow
this
too.
vanquished soul with light! Resuscitation!
Here goes!
Bow before me! Burning
What
flash!
was I thinking?
Blew away!
Here's a chance! You can
Burning
air
flash!
thrust! There!
Blew away!
Into the shadow!
Burning flash! Enough!
Forgive me. This is my fault.
Rise and shine! If it's in the sky, it's mine!
Bow before me!
Back from death to this! Thunder
Burning flash!
No rest for the wicked.
Heal my weary people!
I'm sorry. Do it!
Burning smoke! Look sharp! Lightning tiger blade! Imbue this vanquished soul with light!
By the power of
It's on!
resuscitation!
Prepare to be judged!
Such unadulterated fury.
Burn!
It's about to strike!
Look sharp, everyone! Blow away!
Flawless flight!
Burning flash!
It's time to draw close the tragedy of your lives has reached its end. Chrono erosion!
Illuminated death! Come on! Holy
Burning
glitter!
flash!
Holy land!
Blow away!
Use all the power of my healing arts to accomplish
Blow
this.
away!
Divine
Prepare to be
savior!
Try
judged!
harder!
Enough! Know your place. How about this? How about this? Cut through!
Now! Is this it?
I couldn't make it in time.
I'm all stuffed up! Lightning! Down!
Prepare to be judged!
It's go time!
I'll bring you back from death to this!
Smash you!
I'm going to need to use all the
Raging
power of my
cascade!
healing arts to accomplish this.
Sealed!
Prepare to be judged!
Then you all pass away!
Gemini Aqua!
In here!
Magna Ray! Back into the fray!
I'm gonna need more than that.
One at a time!
No!
Let me help!
Can't end here!
Magic Kazam!
Be
I'll
gone!
bring you back from death's abyss!
Light after
The
light!
waters
You
of
bore me.
creation!
I owe you
I'm
one.
going to need to use all the
Prepare
power
to be
of my
judged.
healing arts. This can't be happening!
You'll pay for that!
How about this? Bleed! Be gone!
Sleep now!
We're finished!
Is this it?
Vanquish darkness!
You require a hand.
Divine! One more time!
This should do it!
A whirling struggle! Winds of heaven!
Ready and
burst
ready.
Prepare
forth!
to be judged!
Bow before me!
Magic Kazam! Seal!
Ready!
A whirling magic
I'll
is
smash you!
in here!
Back into
Let's
the
get
fray.
you
Here's a
all
healing
away.
art. First aid.
Okay,
Here I go. To be judged.
Whoa, hey, one at a time! Photon blast! Magic is in! Air thrust!
All the power
You
of
get to
You
deal.
bore me.
Cyclone!
Prepare to be
Try
judged.
harder!
Enough. Worthless. How about this? How about this? Cut through.
My turn! Blow away!
Prepare to be judged.
won't give up.
You! Stay away from my friends!
Be gone.
Thunderfang!
Prepare to be judged.
They're not playing around!
Cower before me.
Saving this
Ready and
one.
ready.
What was I doing?
Raising you apart. Bloody howling.
You picked the wrong fight!
It's time to draw close the curtain. The tragedy of your life has reached its end. Chrono erosion.
Oh,
You're my
violence
weary
starts to win.
companion.
Carve now! Crossblade! Explosion between heaven and
You
earth!
bore me. See what I can do.
A wailing dancy of lightning!
Prepare to be judged.
Is this it?
Know your place. How about this?
Sorry.
This one will be difficult to predict.
Here's evil.
Raining slash! Thunder! Rosie Fury!
Dance immortal droplet by the power of water.
Try harder! Not a chance!
Enough.
The flame is
We're
dying!
finished.
It's too much!
Radiant here. I can do it all day.
Blow away!
Searing flame.
Not today!
Reload. Holy land. Lunar corruption. By savior.
Blow away!
Gemini offload. I'm ready. By the power of water.
We're
By the
finished.
power of flame. Rain down.
You're mine! Gotcha!
Explosion. Here's a healing arc.
Enough.
In here!
We're finished.
More for the stockpile.
I'll smash you.
Thunderblade.
Blow
In
away!
the shadow.
Legends I did.
Mega ray. I'm all stuffed up.
We're finished.
Take this!
Illuminate the dark with my
Thunderous devastation! I have no limits!
A chain between heaven and earth!
Thunder!
A
Rosie
wailing
Fury!
dancy of lightning!
Here I come.
Is this it?
I couldn't make it in time.
Spread. Thunder field. Curse malevolence. Blah blah blah. Magic. Freeze lancer. Blah blah blah. Spread. Denied. Finish without a trick. Blah blah blah.
Take this.
Blah blah blah. Air drop.
It's all!
I won't give up. Helix of purity. Lunar corruption. Maelstrom. By the power of water.
Raining slash!
Mega ray. By the
Blow
power
away!
of water.
Can't move!
Don't give up.
We're
The
finished!
sky is mine.
Of light! Rain
Heal.
down and purify all!
Resuscitation.
Prepare to be judged.
Not done yet!
Enough.
Lunar blast.
Ready of it.
In your hands now.
I'll heal you all.
Raining slash!
Photon
Prepare to be judged.
Here goes.
I owe you, Tion.
Healing is what my arts do best.
It's on!
All mine can do is cause havoc.
This ends now.
Consider yourself finished!
I'll bring you back from death's abyss.
You picked the wrong fight!
I was a fool.
Blow away!
Prepare to be judged.
They're not playing around!
Cower before me.
Blah, blah, blah. It's about to strike!
Look sharp, everyone!
Air thrust! Photon, you get the gift! Holy land!
It's time to draw close the curtain. The tragedy of your life has reached its end. Chrono erosion.
Another incantation brewing.
On your knees.
between
With
heaven and
finish.
power of
Try
lightning.
harder. Not
A
a
wailing fancy of lightning.
away.
Take this!
Bloody
You boy!
Divine faith.
A whirling struggle! Prepare to be
Try
judged!
harder.
Winds of heaven.
Enough!
First force.
Know your place! How about this? Bleed! Cut through!
My turn.
Bloody Marlin! I'll smash you!
Cyclone.
Yes, this is. Forgive me.
Enough!
This is my fault.
Let me show you what my
Photon
art can do.
Resuscitation!
Magic
Prepare
is
to be
am.
judged!
Freeze Lancer.
Worthless!
You get the
Marlin!
look. Searing flame.
Be gone!
Forgive me.
Blow away!
What would I do without
Raging
Fury?
Slash!
Raging
Thunderstrike!
Storm.
Glacial spear.
Fury, one at a time. Freeze Lancer. Ice Prison.
Bow before me!
Photon. Raging Cascade. Sleep now. Let's get you all tucked
You
away.
bore me.
Okay,
Here I go.
Thanks, Shion.
Be careful not to
Prepare to
overdo
be
it.
judged!
I'm sorry.
Enough!
I'll do better.
Worthless! Bleed! Bleed! Cut through!
More with
My
that
turn. Blow away.
Magic is there.
Burn!
Snake. Just blah blah
Blow
blah.
away.
Freeze Lancer.
Incineration.
Air thrust.
Prepare to be judged!
Such
Power
unadulterated
before
fury.
me! Attack time!
Blow away.
I'll smash you!
The waters of creation. Dance in mortal droplets. Freeze Lancer.
It's time to draw close the curtain. The tragedy of your life has reached its end.
Chrono
It's in your hands now.
Stay away from my friend.
Magic is there. Air thrust. Blah blah blah.
You bore me.
Blah blah blah.
Prepare to be judged.
No. Can't end here.
Worthless.
I won't give up.
How about this? Be gone!
It's in your hands now.
What was I thinking?
Bow before me!
It's in your hands
I'll
now.
bring you back from death's abyss.
Out of the woods. It's
Resuscitation!
Lightning out.
Not done yet. Be gone.
I won't give up. Far enough.
I'm ready. Kisara, Commander of Heaven. Phoenix Cyclone.
Hey, anyone else think this might be a touch too dangerous?
Ridwell's right. We should fall back to regroup and try again later.
What do your rip if you disrupt my tranquil?
I've got a really bad feeling about this.
Enough. You're mine.
Hold on to your art. Here I come.
Struck.
Let's get you all tucked away.
the earth throbs in pain.
Correction.
Raining the flame inside me.
Water! Annihilation!
Thunderous devastation.
Oh,
Feel my weary
Magic
tempest.
is there.
Correction. Allow me to help.
Bow before me.
Rain slash.
Do it!
Do it.
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished.
Rain
Raging Storm.
Prepare to be judged.
They're not playing around!
Power before me.
It's gonna attack!
Right, watch out!
Blow away! Burn!
Elusive deity.
Blow away!
Change It's time to draw close the curtain. The tragedy of your lives has reached its end.
Chrono
erase away.
You get the gist.
Freezing storm! This one's mine!
In a bind. Take this.
Now! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished! I still got a ways to go!
Looks like we get to sleep with a roof over our heads.
Thanks for waiting. Eat as much as you like. Looks like we made it here in one piece.
Is this Glanamy Castle?
I can hardly believe it, but there's Balsif.
It would seem this device is no sham. Ready yourselves. Our foe is spoiling for a fight.
So this is Calaglia's lord.
Holy crap, this guy's huge! Are you guys sure he's human?
That's definitely Balsif. Looking back, it seems like ages since we last fought.
Remember, you don't have a master to protect you this time. One wrong move, and you could be in real trouble.
I know. Still, back then I didn't even know who I really was. I'm excited to see just how strong I've gotten since the last time we fought.
Soaring Catfish!
It's too much! This one keeps
That monster's
charging us!
attacking!
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me.
Got it! I'll leave it to you!
All the power of my healing rod to accomplish it.
Try harder!
Our surgeon is
Now! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Thunderfang!
Azure Storm!
All day!
Here I come!
Raging Luna Storm.
Thunderous devastation!
You're in trouble now.
Try harder! Not again! Not today!
Almost in the bag.
Not done yet. It's just falling back.
Then it's time for you to do what you do best.
Burn! Burn, 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 burn! Burn it all to the ground! Die!
The waters of magic is them. Tidal wave.
Move away!
Down on the
ground! You're finished!
This ends now.
Consider yourself finished!
Wait, it isn't over yet? Speak of the... Isn't that...
Ganabelt. That's one way to meet him again.
Can't stand the sight of his face. But boy, I can't wait to punch it again!
Law, are you okay?
I'm fine. We've moved way beyond this guy at this point, haven't we, Alfred?
That's right. It'll take a lot more than the likes of him to even come close to getting us down.
Maybe some stupid phantom, but I'll still put him in his place.
In that case, there's no way we can lose. Woohoo!
Thunder Fang!
Stalagmite! Blink!
Thunder!
Chinese supernova!
It's nothing back time!
Take arms. I shall provide assistance.
There's more than one of him?
Some kind of moving illusion?
Who cares? Just knock them all down! I'll put you in ready and raring!
Try harder! My turn! Where are you going? Now! Look sharp!
Lightning Tiger Blade!
We were just getting started!
Magic is there! Annihilation!
Drink deep the
He's
despair!
channeling astral energy!
Damn it! Can't get any closer!
If this keeps up,
Not today!
Whilst the depths of despair consume
as impressive as always.
Here I hope there was improvement.
No, I mean, you're even better than ever.
I've never seen Theon actually look flustered.
I'm not done! This one's all mine!
Raging storm!
Burn!
I'm almost impressed.
My brain's coming from you.
I said almost. Don't get carried away.
Prepare to be seen! He's still going?
I'll finish him first!
I'm ready!
Finish!
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
And now Menencia.
Looks like we're doing these fights in order.
Ugh, this feels freaky when we've got the real one standing right here.
It is only an illusion. Do not let it give you pause.
Oh, I wasn't going to.
Yeah, let's finish him off quick.
Come on. Getting yourself in a tizzy won't solve anything. Let's go.
It pains me to think how terrible I once acted to the Lord.
It's okay. The fact that you know better now is all that matters.
No hard feelings if I hit the real you, right?
Likewise, should I accidentally hit you with my rod?
I was joking!
Not today!
A freezing That rock is huge!
Watch out, everyone!
Here I go! By the power of
Without a trick!
Force of regeneration!
Regenerate! Thanks so much, excited! A whirling struggle! Winds of heaven!
Okay, here I go!
Down on the ground! Go thy mystic mercy! Fairy circle!
A charge like that could easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop.
Look out for the charge attack!
Nothing gets through me. These are
Frozen!
hammer!
Show thy mystic mercy!
Help this
All
raging
the way
storm!
save you!
Here!
Don't suffer in silence.
Hey, what is a freezing storm?
Watch yourself!
Ice tornado!
Incredible power!
Raining slash!
Shining supernova! Purge malevolence! Let me show you what we are. Come forth, holy river! Holy land! A chain between heaven and earth.
There! No further!
Here's a healing art. See ya.
Take this!
First aid!
This one's all mine!
Elusive deity! Now!
Jubilee!
All yours, Kisara!
So this really is the next place. Are you going to be okay, Rinwell?
Yeah. The past can't hurt me with my friends at my side.
Then let the pummeling commence!
She's just an illusion. My feelings are what's real.
Nice to see that even as a phantom, she's still as despicable as ever.
If that's the way she appears to us, I guess it's a sign of just how fondly we all remember her.
You don't think she could be acting even worse than before because of our memories of her, do you?
Who cares? She was horrible then and she's still horrible now.
You're not wrong. I might also add that her companion monsters remain the same.
Then we'll just stick to what we did before. Let's get her!
Man, this is tougher than I remember.
Illuminate the dark!
Stalagmite!
Holy river! Holy land! A chain between heaven and earth! Healing circle!
I'm nearly done for. Now!
No mercy!
Thunder!
Then for me!
Here goes!
You're mine! Strike!
Hydration! Illuminate the dark! Holy land! Sealing!
What's she doing now?
She's infusing her beast with more power!
Get ready!
By the power of flame! Finish without a trace!
Stay away from my friend! No escape!
What are you doing?
Do it! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
I'll bring you back from death!
Pieces!
Attack time!
Explosive ring!
Sometimes the best medicine is
They're attacking separately!
I can't land a hit on...
Keep an eye on it! And take out the monster first!
Try harder! My turn!
She's no stranger to astral arts.
I can take care of that.
Yeah, take it away!
Ignite!
The enemy is going
Try
all
harder!
out!
Now!
That's quite unique.
In a bind?
Healing circle!
I'm grateful.
Thanks for the healing.
Watch yourself, okay?
With the
Yeah,
mountain people!
you too.
This one's mine!
Now you see what I can do!
The winds of judgment blow your way! Fall before
mind if I do.
impending calamity!
Bloody
Chaotic disaster!
So that's the trick up her sleeve.
Your astral arts aren't so special. And now, they're mine!
You will suffer!
Chain between heaven and earth.
A wailing banshee in here!
I'm going to use all the
In a bind?
to accomplish
I'm not done!
hydration orb!
Soaring light spear! Thunderous devastation! Burn!
Eagle ray!
Coming through! I'll never forgive you!
What?
I'll take you down! Now!
River!
Astral energy!
Say no more!
Of course he's next.
Not to be indelicate, but we did say we wanted another shot at the man.
We'll beat him. I won't back down before some mere illusion.
Remember, we're right here with you.
Yeah, we're all in this together.
Let's kick his ass and go back to reality together.
This doesn't feel like the Sovereign's power this time. It's even stronger.
Is it our memories of him that are making him so strong?
He was always strong. But even so, we still defeated him.
Right. Whether he's real or not is irrelevant. Either way, we'll take him out.
Indeed. If it is a question of whether to flee or fight, then I choose to fight.
Yeah! Let's break him into pieces!
Raining slap!
Freezing storm!
Fury! Negative
Enjoy.
I'll smash you!
Here I come!
Here.
Try harder! Not a chance!
Take this.
Raining!
He just won't stay still!
If you can draw his attention, I'll pin him down.
Bestow thy misty blessing! Try harder! Not a chance!
Die.
Now!
This!
Did we get him?
He's open!
Let's go! Try this! I'm ready! Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
What's he planning?
Prepare to be sealed, oh fleet
This
of
looks
foes.
bad.
Actually,
We gotta stop him.
sound is more appropriate.
Less talking, more doing.
Take this.
Will this
That's far enough.
Penguin blow!
Burn in hell! Take this! I'm not done!
Now, are you ready to entertain me? Don't disappoint me by dying.
Eyes on the ground! Here it comes!
Damn it! Don't take your attention off him either!
Take this!
Searing flame! Reload! A chain between heaven and earth. Flame! Reload!
Take
In here! More for the stockpile!
Take this!
Incantation ruined.
Negative gate!
Air thrust! The lava!
Awaken and wreak havoc!
You get the jet! Air thrust!
Take this!
Take this!
Take this.
Explosion! Lightning orb!
I'm not done!
One final push.
Let's finish this off!
I'll do my best not to disappoint.
Freeze Lancer!
In an instant! Impact Frost!
Come on, we took them all out. Why isn't this over?
This is getting ridiculous.
What's going on here? This never happened in the real world.
Is it the researchers doing?
Either that, or deep down, someone among us wants a greater challenge.
Well, thanks a bunch, whoever you are.
I hope it's not me. Whatever the case, either we win or we lose. And I'd take a win over a loss any day.
Something like this had to have been dreamt up by Alphen, right?
Do I look that bloodthirsty to you?
At the very least, you do look rather eager.
Admittedly, I may have considered how taking them all on without any of the baggage could be kind of fun.
You're guilty as charged! What are we supposed to do about all these?
Calm yourself. They may be strong, but they're scattered apart.
Indeed, while our friendship binds us together, let us show them what that means.
Are you serious right now?
Absolutely.
Well, then I guess losing's not an option.
Damn right it's not. Let's move, guys!
Honor won't save you!
Obstinate vermin!
Astral energy!
Say no more!
We're just getting started!
Healing art!
Drink deep the despair!
Down on the ground!
I, who am united with the abyss!
I'll stop its charge!
Thanks, Kisara!
Not today!
Watch the depth of despair consume you.
Air thrust!
Blah,
Blah, blah, blah.
who commands
Now.
all the lethal in an instant! Impact cross! We work well together.
Like a finely timed waltz.
Try harder! Not a chance!
I won't give up.
Forgive me.
You're nearly done for.
A new level.
Take this!
Can't get out of this!
Take this.
Demon Land! I can carve through armor! Soaring blast!
Try harder!
Run.
Now I can look.
Brimming with hatred. Ringwell! Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis!
Blew away!
Sorry. I didn't want to put you out.
What are friends for if we can't depend on one another?
You're right. I'll bear that in mind.
Ready to go.
Amazing! Not long to go now.
We couldn't have done it without you, Danielle.
Thanks! I can't hold on much longer!
Freezing storm. Crush them.
Do it!
You can't move! All yours, Kisara!
I'll bring you back from death.
Entertain me.
Another incantation ruined! No further.
I'm not sure how we get out of this one.
You mean... This might be the end?
No, never. Stay strong.
This should do it.
This is... Come in handy.
Freezing storm.
This is over.
Take this!
Here goes!
Demon Fang!
I should take this.
Far beyond the darkest skies!
Bestow thy
Try harder!
Take
Too
this!
fast!
Stand back. I'll trip it up.
Thunder! I'm ready!
Wait now.
Totally! In an instant! Impact cross!
Is that
Imbue
it?
this vanquished soul with life! Thunder!
Resuscitation!
Vanquish darkness!
Now this is enjoyable.
I can't move!
Ready? You may be no! Can't end here!
Don't give up! Far beyond the darkest
Not done
skies!
yet.
Now, are you ready to entertain me? Don't disappoint me by dying just yet.
Let them mark!
Carve through armor!
Don't mind if I do!
Why'd you hear me?
To stop you dying?
Now this is enjoyable.
Such unadulterated fury!
Here, let me help! Blah, blah, blah!
No further!
Go watch! Blah, blah, blah!
Elusive deity!
Now, are you ready to entertain me? Don't disappoint me by dying just yet.
A whale! Winds of heaven! Rotating pile! Leave the enemy's arch to me!
No further. No place here!
I'll bring you back from death's abyss.
Try my turn!
Do it!
Freeze.
That's right! Astral energy!
Say no more! Got it!
Well done!
Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Arrow Squall! Heal! Flame of Fury! Burning!
You're in trouble now! It's on! You...
Now we're not...
Okay, here I go! Elusive Fury! Thunder!
Freezing storm!
Burn, 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 burn! Burn it all to the ground! Die!
Now!
In an instant! Impact cross!
can't be.
Is there someone left besides Balsef?
Zephyr? Dad?
You've done well to make it this far. Don't speak. Save your strength. You've learned much along the way. Now, demonstrate it to me.
What's going on? Why are we fighting Zephyr?
I don't know. Does that contraption even pit us against foes we've never faced?
Keep it together, Law.
Illusion or not, we wouldn't want to embarrass ourselves in front of Zephyr.
Alphen, yeah, you're right. No sense in holding back. All right, Dad. Here's one to remember me by!
Get out in there with the others!
Orochi's Fury!
Down on the counter!
You're mine!
The power of
Begin!
water! Let's get you
Dragon
Dragon
Shot! Ignite!
Annihilation!
Seismic Rough Gun! Here I come!
Here!
Catch! Thunderfang!
Nail Struck!
Make it done!
Illuminate the tornado! Holy Glimmer! Holy Raging Storm! A chain between heaven and earth! Ice Whirling Dancing of Lightning! Divine Shade! Rise and shine away!
Don't get hurt!
Please now!
Now you see what I can do!
I'll be saving this one!
Here I come! Rain Strike! Talon Sword! Hold on tight!
Bloody Now!
In an instant! Impact Claw!
Oh, violent.
Did you see that, Dad?
I did. You've grown beyond my wildest dreams. It's about time I laid down a little parental authority.
It feels like the air is trembling.
You can.
Guess Zephyr's not messing around.
Looks like Dad's lightning defense.
You'll pay for that!
Require complete focus.
Anything in armor is all mine.
I'll bring... You back from death's abyss. I can feel the medicine working.
Can't end here!
Magic is there. Burning strike. You get the gist. Air thrust. A flash of divine savior. Going to need to use all the power to feel the medicine working. Far beyond.
Brace yourself! Get lost! Exquisite Thunder Punch!
The earth throbs in
I'm all
pain.
stuffed up.
To think she was this powerful.
My shield's as good as useless.
Considering Dad's temper, I'm impressed I made it this far.
Cyclone! Here's a healing art! Birthday!
The flame inside me
Light
yearns to be let
This
free!
can't be happening!
Stay away from my friend!
Ready to go! Shining
I'll bring it
Supernova! The waters of creation!
Coil!
Dance, immortal droplet! Hear me!
No more holding back!
My pride was my
Far away!
such unadulterated fury.
Here's evil! Arcade
Stalagmite! Rending you
Supernova!
bloody hell!
Don't mind if I do! To use all the power of my
Negative gate!
Raging technique!
Stalagmite!
The waters of creation!
Masterful tap!
This should do it!
Can't be happening!
You! Stay away from my friend!
I can't be between heaven and earth!
See this? Brace yourself! Get lost!
You may
Exquisite
be
Thunder
strong,
Punch!
but I'll never back down!
Divine
Savior!
savior!
You picked the wrong...
Now!
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
Dad.
You've gotten stronger, Law.
Not on my own. I had a lot of help.
I can see. Alphen, Shion, Rinwell. I see some other new companions as well. You've all found your own way forward. Heck, I've nothing left to teach you guys, have I?
Zephyr.
Dad, I want you to know...
Save it, son. This won't be the last we see of one another. It will be for now, though.
Dad!
Keep moving forward. Never look back. And never lose heart.
You did good. Afraid I can't. Whew. I don't sense any more enemies. We finally made it.
Thanks for waiting, everyone. Come on over and grab some food.
Looks like we made it here in one piece. There's a nice breeze here. Everything looks fine with the lure. All right, let's do this. All right. I'll catch something bigger next time.
Looks like a pretty energetic fish.
I've got something. Well, that wasn't much of a challenge.
Nice! You caught it!
Ha! Is this what I think it is? Well, that wasn't much of a challenge.
Not too shabby, friend.
Now, where might those fish be? Ha! All right. She's got a good size to her, all told.
We can make a real feast out of this bad boy.
Now where might those fish be? I've got something. Looks like I hooked a pretty rare fish.
I see you've gotten even better at this.
Reel it in. Looks like I hooked a pretty rare fish.
Wow, what an awesome fish you caught!
You finally made it.
Do you sense one of your friends, Hoodle?
Okay, off we go.
Oh. You know, don't you think we're running a little low on food?
I guess we are. Looks like there's a place to fish over there.
Oh, what do you know? I'll go catch us some dinner.
You could have just said you wanted to fish.
There's a nice breeze here. Reel it in. I reeled us in a big one.
That flapper was a true fighter. Wouldn't it be easier to simply use astral arts to catch the fish and be done with it?
That misses the whole point of going out to fish.
You're still not done fishing yet? Boring.
You need patience to fish. Ha! There we go. That's not a fish I see often.
Wow, what an awesome fish you caught!
Ha! Dang, this fish is being stubborn. This is quite the catch, if I do say so myself.
Look at you, fishing like a pro.
Ha! I've got something. Anybody could reel in that.
That went pretty well.
There's a nice breeze here. I've got something. Looks like I hooked a pretty rare fish.
I don't recognize that fish. Is it okay to eat?
Everything looks fine with the lure. All right, let's do this. Ha! All right. I reeled us in a big one.
That flapper was a true fighter.
Now, where might those fish be?
Hey, what do you think about that spot?
Good idea. I'll go for that one. I wasn't sure if I'd actually reel it in, but somehow I did.
That was intense. It looked like you were practically dueling with the fish.
Yeah, I kept thinking your rod was going to snap in half the entire time I was watching.
It's a whopper of an armored sturgeon. It wriggled so much I thought my arms would pop out of their sockets.
The fish was all bah, and your rod was all creak, and the water was all splash, 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 splash. But you held your own and reeled it in. It was crazy. You're like a heavyweight fishing champion.
Heavyweight?
Law.
No, I just mean you put your full weight behind the thing.
Law, how about you put your full weight behind zipping your pie hole?
I meant it as a compliment. We've got all the ingredients for that recipe now.
Great. I'll let you cook then.
Wait, what? Hey, she's pretty cute.
Who are you looking at? Quit gawking and let's go.
Ow! We finally made it.
There's something in the water.
Now, where might those fish be? Oh, we've got a lively one. That's not a fish I see often.
I don't recognize that fish. Is it okay to eat?
That was quite the little adventure we went on.
There's something in the water.
Now where might those fish be?
Wouldn't it be easier to simply use astral arts to catch the fish and be done with it?
That misses the whole point of going out to fish. Oh, we've got a lively one. That's not a fish I see often.
There certainly are a wide array of fish on Dana.
Where should I cast my line?
Finally. If only we could have flown with the wind to get here faster.
There's something in the water.
I hope we catch something decent.
Indeed. Hungry bellies are counting on this. All right. reeled us in a big one.
I can't believe you caught that with a rod. Amazing.
There we go. She's got a good size to her, all told.
We can make a real feast out of this bad boy.
Ha! This feels like a big one. This is quite the catch, if I do say so myself.
Look at you, fishing like a pro.
Wow, I can't believe you caught another amazing fish!
Yeah, no kidding. I had no idea there was anything like that even swimming around in the... Kisara?
Huh? Oh, hey, Rinwell, Alphen.
Why the long face? Not happy with your haul?
Are you not sure how you want to cook it? If you don't mind it being grilled, I'd be happy to do it for you.
No, it's nothing like that. Here, take a look at this. It's a golden catfish.
A golden catfish? Is there some kind of problem with it or something? It's not like it's poisonous or anything, right?
My brother Miguel told me something about catfish once. He said, when you find a big one, it's an omen. And with a catfish this big, I'm just hoping it isn't a sign something bad's coming our way.
Are catfish like that supposed to be bad omens?
Not necessarily, but you know how these things go. Omens usually don't pop up to warn you of when good things are coming.
Well, think of it like this. Omens just mean that change is coming. And in this case, it's change that all of us are going to bring.
Totally. We're trying to overthrow the big bad Renans. If that's a bad omen for anyone, then we're gonna make sure it's for them.
Huh. I never thought of it like that. Then I guess you could say this fish is Miguel's way of telling us that he's with us. That we can do this.
We're going to build a future for Dana that's as bright as that fish.
You bet we will.
Finally. If only we could have flown with the wind to get here faster.
Where should I cast my line? Hup. All right. Well, it's not bad, per se.
Could have been worse. At least you caught something.
Now, where might those fish be?
Hey, what do you think about that spot?
Good idea. I'll go for that one. There we go. That's not a fish I see often.
There certainly are a wide array of fish on Dana.
We've reached our destination.
A fish! You saw it too, right? There's a nice breeze here. Reel it in. That's not a fish I see often.
Wow, what an awesome fish you caught!
There we go. I reeled us in a big one.
Hopefully it tastes better than it looks.
Reel it in. Boy, that's a bit of a letdown.
Could have been worse. At least you caught something. You finally made it.
There's a nice breeze here. I've got something. Looks like I hooked a pretty rare fish.
So what's it to be? Grilled or broiled? You finally made it.
A fish! You saw it too, right?
You're still not done fishing yet? Boring.
You need patience to fish. Reel it in. She's got a good size to her, all told.
We can make a real feast out of this bad boy.
Oh! This fish is way bigger than I was expecting.
Are we going to be able to finish all that?
Finally. If only we could have flown with the wind to get here faster.
There's something in the water.
There's a nice breeze here. Ha! All right, once more from the top. There we go. Looks like I hooked a pretty rare fish.
Wow, what an awesome fish you caught!
You're still not done fishing yet? Boring.
You need patience to fish. Huh. Dang, this fish is being stubborn. Wow, this fish is seriously rare.
Oh my gosh, that's a really rare species.
What kind of fish is that? It's such a pure white.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It reminds me of Hoodle's wings.
Oh.
Judging from the color of the scales, I'd say it's a Cygnai pirarucu. They say it swims so elegantly that it's like a bird flying underwater.
Wow, that must be beautiful. I'd love to see it for myself.
That may be a tall order. The pirarucu doesn't like to show its face very often. Speaking of which, what exactly is Hoodle doing over there?
Whoa! He's snapping up all sorts of little fish right out of the water!
Ugh! Hoodle, stop! What do you think you're doing?
Do owls even like to eat fish? I had no idea.
He'll eat them, sure. But that's not the point. I have no idea why the heck he would catch so many.
Maybe it's all a business plan. He thinks if he brings enough fish, he can trade them for this albino pirarucu and eat the whole thing himself.
Seriously?
It's okay, Hoodle. It's a big fish. There's plenty for you to eat too, okay?
You heard her, Hoodle. Lucky you.
But since he went out of his way to catch so many fish, might as well cook those up too. Looks like... We made it here in one piece. Catching a cold? Here, have this herb I found earlier. A fish! You saw it too, right? Everything looks fine with the lure. All right, let's do this. Hup. I've got something. Ugh. 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 That's not a fish I see often.
So what's it to be? Grilled or broiled?
Where should I cast my line? Ha! All right. Ugh. 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 Looks like I hooked a pretty rare fish.
Wow, what an awesome fish you caught!
Hup. Time to try a different spot. Ha! Dang, this fish is being stubborn. Ugh. 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 Wow, this fish is seriously rare.
We sure hit the jackpot. That'll taste great. What a gorgeous fish you caught. It almost looks a little like a gemstone. It's breathtaking.
It's called a Cobalt Trout. They're actually tremendously rare. I never thought I'd catch one for myself.
I wonder how it tastes.
What?
Look at how big it is. Its growth must have been pretty unusual. Maybe it absorbed some water astral energy or something.
Mutated fish are known to be pretty cautious by nature. It's possible it turned out this way after years of avoiding human contact.
We're still going to eat it though, aren't we?
Come on, we don't have to eat it, right? I mean, I'm sure there are plenty of other fish we could catch later.
Yeah, I guess.
No way. You should always eat whenever you get the chance. You never know when the enemy will strike next.
That's true.
We finally made it.
A fish! You saw it too, right? Everything looks fine with the lure. All right, let's do this. There's a nice breeze here. I've got something. Looks like I hooked a pretty rare fish.
There certainly are a wide array of fish on Dana.
There we go. I'll catch something bigger next time.
Looks like a pretty energetic fish.
That was quite the little adventure we went on.
There's something in the water.
We finally made it.
There's something in the water.
You're still not done fishing yet? Boring.
You need patience to fish.
Hey, what do you think about that spot?
Good idea. I'll go for that one. Hup. All right. Well, it's not bad, per se.
Could have been worse. At least you caught something.
I've got something. Well, that wasn't much of a challenge.
Guess it's important to stay calm.
All right. Looks like I hooked a pretty rare fish.
I see you've gotten even better at this.
Finally. If only we could have flown with the wind to get here faster.
I hope we catch something decent.
Indeed. Hungry bellies are counting on this. Okay, change of plans. Ha! Oh boy, she's a big one. Wow, this fish is seriously rare.
That's not a zoogle, right?
Yes! I caught a big one.
Is that even a fish? It's rather enormous for one, is it not?
Of course it is. It's an Orem arowana, a freshwater species that makes its home in these parts.
It's quite the impressive specimen. Why, I don't believe we ever had anything so large for dinner back at the palace.
That's because a fish like this is way too big to put on display at a formal dinner, let alone one for a sitting lord.
You catch a giant fish, and all you can talk about is how you're going to eat it?
What's wrong? You like eating too, don't you, Law? I can guarantee a fish this big is going to make for a good meal.
Well, when you put it like that, I guess I am a little excited to dig into it and see how it tastes.
Moments such as this are a good reminder of what I would have missed out on. I'm glad I decided to join you all on this journey. I may have once been a lord, but in truth, my insight into this world was rather limited. And that is, despite the myriad opportunities lordship ostensibly affords.
Wish every Renin was as self-aware as you. Maybe then things wouldn't be so bad.
Indeed. When I say Menencio was beyond lucky to have you as its lord, I really mean it. I'd even say it was miraculous. Now, as for that fish, I'm thinking I'll make some steaks out of it tonight.
Oh, that sounds good! I can't wait!
Miraculous. That's hardly the word I would use to describe myself. That was quite the little adventure we went on.
A fish! You saw it too! Right?
Finally. If only we could have flown with the wind to get here faster.
There's a nice breeze here.
Wouldn't it be easier to simply use astral arts to catch the fish and be done with it?
That misses the whole point of going out to fish. Ha! Reel it in. Well, that wasn't much of a challenge.
That went pretty well.
Ha! I've got something. That's not a fish I see often.
I don't recognize that fish. Is it okay to eat?
I've got a good feeling about this one. I didn't think I'd catch something this big.
Are we going to be able to finish all that?
There we go. I'll catch something bigger next time.
Nice work!
Looks like it was well worth coming out here to the ocean to fish, judging by your haul.
Yeah, I can't complain with a catch like this. Dinner tonight's going to be a real good one.
Hell yeah!
What do you care? You're always happy as long as you're full.
Not always. I mean, okay, yeah, sure. Having a full stomach is close to the maximum amount of happy I can be. But Kisara's cooking is just so amazing. Even you can't deny that.
Well, sorry for not being able to cook as good as her then.
What? That's not what I said at all.
Anyway, what are you planning to do with that fish? Grill it? Turn it into a sashimi? Personally, my vote's for something Kisara?
Sorry. Can you, not talk to me? Right now?
Hey, are you all right? Your face is as white as a ghost.
It might be more accurate to say green.
What happened? She was doing okay until just a few seconds ago.
Actually, I think I remember her mentioning at one point that she felt pretty seasick. But we've been out here for a while now. Maybe it doesn't hit her when she's concentrating on something.
I think that means yes?
I'm sorry. I've never seen anyone look so ill before.
Don't worry about dinner right now. You just get some rest, okay?
Aw, are you tired, Hoodle?
You sure he's not just trying to hide from us? We finally made it.
Are you just going to keep standing around or what?
Sorry, I'm just getting prepped over here.
We finally made it.
There's a nice breeze here. Time to try a different spot. Ha! Oh boy, she's a big un. This is quite the catch, if I do say so myself.
Oh my gosh! That's a really rare species! Kisara, that was amazing! Your rod was flashing like a sword! First this way, then that way, it was crazy!
Indeed. That fish was quite fearsome in its own right. I applaud your tremendous skills in taming such an unwieldy beast.
What he said when you slammed your foot down and gave it that... It got me so pumped!
Yes, it was quite the impressive war cry, I must say.
Anyway, what did you catch?
Oh, right. This is a silver marlin, the king of the seas, as they call it. I wanted to try to catch one at some point while we were out at sea.
It almost looks like a sword blade with that intense sheen.
It really does. With a head as sharp as that, I bet you could fight with it if you had to.
If you could properly wield it, that is. Bear in mind, the marlin is known to be rather heavy for a fish.
Well, if anyone could, it's probably Kisara, right? I mean, hell, she reeled in the damn thing.
Not that you aren't doing great already, Kisara. Your strength is often the only thing between our enemies and us.
Yeah. Every time you lift up that shield, I'm glad you're on our side, Kisara.
You're so stupidly strong, nothing can match your brute strength.
Stupid? Brute?
The only thing that could match it may be your sheer stupidity.
What? Where'd that come from?
I think it's safe to rest here now.
That was quite the little adventure we went on.
Huh? Something smells nice.
Looks perfect and tastes just as good. All right, it's done. Apologies for the wait, you guys.
That's a lot of fish you've cut up again, Kisara.
That's because I caught so many earlier. If you're going to eat them, it's best to do it while they're still fresh.
Was it difficult slicing up that many fish?
No, I'm used to it. It's no big deal for me at this point.
I know I probably shouldn't be saying this after all the trouble you went through, but I've never really understood the appeal of sashimi.
Oh, I'm sorry, Law. I didn't realize. I only make it because it's an easy way to deal with big catches when I fish.
You haven't done anything wrong, Kisara. Law, if you don't like the flavor, you're always welcome to add some of my spices to it.
Hey, yeah, that might work. I'll just put some of this here.
What's wrong, Law? I've never seen someone jump up and sprint off that fast.
He ran as soon as he took a bite of that sashimi.
Was he crying because of the taste?
I don't think the sashimi is the problem here, guys.
This was a good day. It gets a little tough to fight when I'm this full.
Yeah, but who knows when our next meal will be.
Indeed. Perhaps we should look over the menu again.
How can you still be hungry?
There's a nice breeze here.
We've reached our destination.